The Sun not only resists Saturn, but also eliminates its negative impact. The Sun represents that divine spark within us, our self in the role of God, when I can say that I am the creator of my own life and my own destiny. If the person lives on the solar pole, she will be able to melt the ice of Saturn. The most important symbol of Saturn is time, and one of the symbols of the Sun is value. The most precious thing we have in our lives is our time. If we are on the lunar pole, time destroys us, compresses us. If we are on the solar pole, then Saturn's symbol, time, and the Sun's symbol, value, merge, and we ultimately obtain the value of time, or in other words, the time that is so precious to us. Every minute lived is valuable, and our life acquires meaning, significance. Instead of destroying us and weighing on us, Saturn solidifies our results, providing unshakable social status, protection against problems, a secure and solid financial situation. Most people don't know what they actually want, because this is what society cultivates in its members. Supposedly, you can't want something different from what other people want. We are not taught at school to want, to desire, to have dreams and intentions, yet society gives us instructions on how to fulfill our obligations. The Sun is a magnet that attracts everything we desire in our life, but on the condition that we express our needs, desires, and dreams sincerely, with enthusiasm, as well as the ardent desire to materialize them. The universe eventually notices you, helps you, and your birth chart functions on a completely different level. The Sun embodies the deepest individual needs and desires. Deep, but at the same time simple. It is what wakes you up and what gives you joy. Living on the solar pole, the person accepts everything easily, seeking to reduce or diminish the importance of things and events. She seeks to play with the situation, to gain profit, her advantage from everything that happens to her. The euro or the dollar went down. How am I going to survive? It's the end of the world. This is the speech of the moon. How could I override that situation and use it to my advantage? This is the speech of the Sun. However, there are desires dictated by the moon, and they are artificial. I will have a child so that the husband doesn't leave me. I will get married for fear of loneliness. According to the solar consciousness, I do things driven by my deep and authentic desires. The lunar consciousness. I ask myself the question, when will my financial situation improve? When will I be lucky to win the lottery? The solar consciousness. I want to start a business to be prosperous financially. When is the best time to do it, and what should I do to succeed? The moon complains the external factors are the causes of my failures, the boss, the country, the neighbors. The Sun affirms everything depends on me, and I am the only one who is able to change everything. Waking up, awakening, leaving the comfort zone can be very painful. Do you know this particular emotion of the Sun-Moon axis? I can't take it anymore. I've had enough. I'm fed up. I can't live like this anymore when the stress and the negative have accumulated to the maximum. The Sun is experiencing an awakening, marking the moment of major changes in your life. When your Sun awakens, the old way of life goes away, and some people around you no longer seem interesting to you. The poles of the Sun, the upper pole, joy, individuality, playing mode, creativity, present time, the lower pole, the gray, impersonality, passivity, laziness, waiting. The intermediate phase or pole can be represented by the Sun of substitution. When we give our Sun to our partner, to our guru, mentor, to our children, finding the external sense of our lives in them. Here my Sun does not belong to others, but is not mine either. The Sun of substitution shines a little, warms us up a little bit, but everything falls apart most often at the time of the second return of the lunar nodes, around the age of 38-40. the sun and its esoteric meaning. The astrological symbol of the sun is the ring of the spirit, having neither beginning nor end, being full and complete. The point in the center of the circle symbolizes the spark of life. The symbol reminds us that we are part of the whole of the spirit, even though we are only a speck of it, and usually evokes the awareness of an infinite potential through the concrete incarnation, through the individual. I remind you that the astrological symbol of the moon is the crescent of the soul. All spiritual teachings remind us that the three main virtues, creativity, love, and the ability to forgive, allow us to get closer to God. At the initial evolutionary level of a person, her will is going to be directed toward aggressive behaviors. She will require that others recognize her right to assert her desires. At this level, the influence of a person on the world around her is very limited. It increases when the person works on the awakening of her conscience and of her inner will. And it is at this precise moment that others will start obeying her, without her even consciously aiming for that result. The magic of the will, being the inner strength of a personality, is the result of her evolution. Man stops being the subject of planetary influences only when he becomes able, through a voluntary effort, to rise above himself, his own reactions and his inertia. His influence on the masses will then always be beneficial because his will is always directed towards noble goals, devoid as he is of the temptation to use his power for selfish interests. Therefore, the sun in a birth chart symbolizes the power over the animal world, the environment, human society, and the subtle world. First of all, the needs of my spirit, of myself, of my individuality, the simple sense of my life, the deep motivation to do sports also. Whether I like or not sports, here I will give you my personal interpretations of the position of the sun in signs, talking about the source of joy and happiness for each sign. Sun in Aries. Leadership, the destruction of the old and the creation of the new. Exploits made for reaching new heights. Sun in Taurus. Manipulation of shapes, the study of their structures and beauty, the building of solid bases and unshakable foundations. Sun in Gemini. Intellectual and mental activity. Control of information flows in varied forms. Mediation. Sun in Cancer. Study of the roots and origins, reconciliation with the family, understanding of one's own soul, exploration of the closets of private life. Sun in Leo. Dominion, leadership, realizing a noble creative idea, the use of birth-inherited royal power. Sun in Virgo. The flawless execution of professional duties and daily tasks, keeping the body and general health in perfect shape. Sun in Libra. Finding balance, diplomacy, cultivating a fair judgment, true peacemaking. Sun in Scorpio. Radical transformations in situations of crisis, in transition periods, and on the most extreme frontiers of existence. Sun in Sagittarius. Grand beginnings. The inspiration of others to brilliant ideas, expanding of the consciousness and of the scope of daily living. Sun in Capricorn. Organization, management, the search for usefulness and economy, the creation of structures and ordered systems. Sun in Aquarius. Translation of complex information flows from the distant future to the present. Transmission of fantastic ideas in the most appropriate manner. Sun in Pisces. Assistance to the helpless, support of the needy. Compassion, spiritual and creative activity. The moon is afflicted, the sun is harmonious. The world is bad, I am good. The moon is afflicted, the sun is afflicted. The world is bad, I am bad. The moon is harmonious, the sun is afflicted. The world is good, I am bad. The moon is harmonious, the sun is harmonious. The world is good, I am good. There is no spice, no tension in the last one. The person can be very passive. The afflicted moon can be cured by migrations, but this is a temporary solution. We cannot move continuously. Arriving at a certain point of our spiritual evolution, we are obliged to bring the moon to the upper pole. There are no desperate or ideal combinations. Each combination has its advantages and disadvantages. Once you remembered your true self, but now you have forgotten it. By performing symbolic actions, you will help your consciousness recall how is your authentic self. Who has pure intention? A child. Then be like a child, pure and having a pure intention, the sign of the sun and of its dispositor. Introduce the symbols of the solar sign and of the dispositor into your life. You have to perform a symbolic solar action in order to recall the solar mode. The action should correspond to the solar sign. Get out of your comfort zone. Often the activation of the sun leads to pain, to the destruction of old life. You have to clear out, to clean the old platform, and everything useless will go away. You must not be afraid of this work. Rather, put yourself in an observation mode.